Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. This is FX Mesh Smashing It. Yeah, welcome back to uh, the channel where we actually will be um, looking at various currency pairs and indices and how they behave, and we will be paying attention to different kind of instruments across the board. First of all, I usually look at the DXY, which is the dollar index. And what the dollar index does is that it gives you a picture of the strength of the US dollar relating to other major currencies, and that in turn helps you to be able to analyze how USD is going to impact other USD pairs. So I usually do that, and that's my indicator, one of my indicators, because you want to understand how the strength of a major currency is playing out in the market, so as to be able to inform your bias as to where the market is going to be mostly headed to. In forex, we usually we usually speculate based on previous performance of the market price action, and we then take decisions based on that. And also I looked at the other couple of instruments. I looked at other NAS 100, which I paid attention to as well. USD JPY, I paid attention to AUD USD. I paid attention to AUD JPY and NAS, sorry, NZD card. Then I also paid attention to GBP JPY. I took a trade there, so I'll be showing you all of that. And this week has been, well, there were a lot of movements. I didn't take much trades. I took a trade where I had a very big drawdown, but which is I think GBP AUD, but I think it's coming up again. I closed up a little bit some profits, but I'm still aiming for the market to go to travel a significant distance in the buy direction. So let's get to the chart and we'll see how this has played out. Then also along the line, we'll be looking at for opportunities in the following week, and let's see how that goes. Let's go back to the chart now. Catch you in the next one. Let's go down. This is FX Mesh. Back to the charts for this week analysis, and we are starting off by looking at the strength of the US dollars and in relation to other major pairs, forex pairs, and we can see that overall on a 4 hours time frame there's been a push to the upside for the past, since for months now. But if we take it from, let's take it from June here, you can see that a certain key level was broken by the US dollars, means that breaking to the upside. So what it means that the US dollar has been gaining significant strength, and you can see where my cursor is here. Let's take it from here. Even from here, it went up, came down, went up again, came down, went up again, and now right now the prevailing trend for the US dollars is on a bearish, but the overall trend is what is on a what is a bullish trend. Right now, this has had now let's focus on this particular trend lately. You can see it pushed up, down, broke this level and went up and came down. Once it changes direction like that, it creates a structure, right? This is a structure. All right, now if you look at it, if you look at how I've drawn everything so far, the trend lines, you see that there's something happening around here. Now our general bias is up, is bullish, but at this point you can see a significant push to the downside, which is what is sell. Now this has had a direct impact on all other US pairs. Like for example, the US pairs that have USD as prefix, you can see push to the downside because the US dollar has lost some strength while on this impulse, right? Pushing to the upside, it got to this point, it pulled down because the strength of US dollar came weaker. So let's go back to the dollar index DXY. So you see, so this has impact in all the US pairs. This particular, let me just mark it out, this particular shift this week has made a significant impact. Now let's look at the NAS 100. NAS 100, you see that it has been consolidating. It's supposed to push downward, but it has been consolidating. So it has been playing around this this area. You see, up down here. It was difficult for it to break through this level. This level has been heavy, I've been very strong for it. This level. So what it means is that what I'm looking at for is that if this market break through here, retests here, and pushes to the upside, gives me candles, a bullish candlestick to the upside, I'll take a buy from there. That's what I'm looking at for. That's how you see me draw this line, and you see the arrow shooting to the upside. Now the market is almost respecting what I actually want, but I want this to pull back properly and show me a candlestick to the upside. It's like I'm looking for a break and retest. I want a strong confirmation so that I can take a buy, something like this, down then up. Okay, so let me bring out the moving average. Okay, moving average, you can see the moving average. This is the 50 moving average, this is the 20 moving average. Once the moving averages cross, then it must be a change of momentum or direction, and you can see on a 4 hours that the two have crossed. You can see a pullback here and a retest. The market has tested the trend, the moving average, and you can see it push to the upside. Now what's going to happen further? We're expecting market to retest this level. It has broken it already with this candlestick here, up, they retest it. I want to see a candlestick up to the upside, like this, put this kind of candlestick up here and close this, then I'll take a buy. That will be how I look at the NAS 100, which is another index that has relationship with the US dollar. Now I'm just looking at all as many US dollar pairs as possible. Look at this one. Now we also experience an impact in what this dollar index has. This dollar, let me leave it like that. This dollar index, the impact of this push to the downside this week so far will also affect all, like I said, all the pairs that has to do with US dollars. Now let's look at USD CHF. Say USD CHF. You see that they've been a push to the downside. You see, they've been a push to the downside. You see, push to the downside because the US dollar got weak, has affected the US dollar. So once this one gets weak, it will drop down. If this one gets strength, it will push to the upside. And you know, I got this one right last week. This one I missed this one. I failed this one. I thought it's gonna look. The reason why I took this trade here, is it last week? I think last week until this week. I think it was because the market pushed to the upside. It retested here. I expect to push to the upside. It got to this point, right? It retested it again, right? Look at this candlestick to the upside. That's why I took a buy. But what happened? The market reversed against me, and I lost this particular trade because there was weakness in the US dollars. So that is how that is one way to add to our confluences, because when we want to take a trade, we let's have different confluences to support what our claims. Now let's go to GBP USD. You see also a push to the downside as well. Now you can see that the USD has also pushed to the downside, has tanked to the downside. You see, push to the downside. It's now trying to gain strength to the upside, but this has to clear itself out to this line. I want to see the US dollars clear itself to this line because there's a structure here. So once it breaks through here and retest, then I'll take a buy. A short buy. As I won't take the buy will not be long trade. That's what I mean by short buy. Now look at this one, US dollar card as well. It's going to tank down because of what? The US index, because the strength of the US dollars. This is a picture of the strength of US dollars. So USD card, once we have seen the strength of US dollar in in the US pair, you can see a push to the downside. It was pushing upwards, was although consolidated. Then now this consolidation is also as a result of the strength between USD and CAD. Now CAD has also been strong as well. So when CAD is strong and USD is strong, they appears to be a sort of consolidation. Now let's look at NZD USD, the same thing, because it has pushed to the downside. It has, because now NZD is also very strong as well. So you just imagine, look at it's taking more time to consolidate. Now it's not giving the NZD is not giving any more strength against the USD. If I see a break and retest of this line, these are strong lines, then I will take a buy. If not, if I see a reversal and I see a retest and a solid strong bearish candlestick to the downside, I'll take a sell. Now US 30 is an index. You can see what it's doing. It's consolidated because of the strength of US dollar impact. US dollar became weak. You can see consolidation here. So what will I do? I have to wait for the market to go up, retest, then push to the upside. That's what I'm waiting for. So simple break and retest. Yeah, I'm not using any other tools as such, except maybe when I'm trying to test for reversals, I can use my free tools. So US 500, same thing. It was pushing to the upside. You can see from a lower time. If you go for a higher time frame, you see it. Time frame, you can see it was pushing to the upside. Then all of a sudden it started pushing downwards because of the weakness of the US dollars. Now German 30 is also an index as well. You can see push to the downside. It was pushing upward because of the weakness of the prevailing the latest weakness of the US dollars. It started to push to the downside. Now AUD USD, the same thing. This one will be going down because you can AUD USD, see, it's going down because when it goes down, because US dollar is a suffix, it shows the strength of the US dollars. So, but there's a little bit of struggle somehow, and I think I marked this one. I marked this trade, and you can see I'm already in profit. But I didn't take this one actually. I just marked it. I wanted to see what it's gonna do. So, but overall, they've been you know, a mixed feeling. It's a mixture somehow regarding the US dollars pair. So what I did was to look at other pairs that are not US dollar related, like GBP JPY, and I took a buy here, but it's quite slow. It's been slow. And I'm expecting I identified the structure here because the market built up to this point and came down, built up here and came down. So I marked this point as a structure. I drew this bar here, and also there's this level. Then also I also drew I also came down to a lower time frame, and I tried to identify structures. Very important. You must identify structures and see what the market is doing regarding structures. Sometimes some weeks you might not even you might not see a good signal to take, and that's fine because you want to take quality signals. So once you don't see a signal, you can just keep analyzing and seeing how the market behaves. Now look at what this market has done. It went up here, came down here, it kind of consolidated around this area, up down. You see around this block there's been a consolidation. So because this consolidation, now I had to draw this line here because there's a structure here that meets. You can see that it got here, it meets, you know. Then it broke through here. I wanted to retest this level, then push to the upside. That's my plan. Okay, that is my plan. So once it breaks the retest, then I take direction. So I'm looking at this point, which is a very important point for this signal I took. Now when I expand it, the reason why I take this signal is a very beautiful signal. I will explain. I want to show you on a line graph and see what I'm talking about. Look at this. Look at what the market did. The market came here. It rejected back. It finally broke this level that it rejected here. It broke it. It retested it. You see it. You see this candlestick here. You see the wicks. It came here. It retested it and pushed to the upside. You can see this candlestick to the upside and pulled back a little bit. Then pushed up again. Then I could see that the overall push was to the upside. Got here, came down here, come here. Okay, let me just make it. Let me make this thing thicker so you can see what I mean. See? Okay, let's go again. Came up here, retested this level. This level is a strong level. It came down here. You see that it's consolidating. It shows that this level is a strong level. So it came up here, consolidated a little bit. Push to the upside, breaking it with strong strength, which is an impulse created in the process. it came down again to retest it. So what then it came up and gave me a candlestick, a bullish candlestick in the same direction of the trend. You see it? Then it pulled back a little bit and gave another candlestick again to the upside. Then another small candlestick again. Remember, each candlestick is 4 hours time frame. And I took a buy here to this level, and you see that I'm still swimming a little bit around that point, although the market has pushed to the downside. But I expect to hit this point, this 166.862. This is a very important key level because there's a structure here. So I want to trade this and see how it goes. Now for AUD JPY, these are slower pairs, but they're making sense. They kind of make sense. They're a little bit safer somehow. They're slow and they take their time. You can see the same thing. You see structure here, structure here. These lines are, each time you see a trend line must be created as a result of a structure. You don't just draw trend lines like that. This is structure. It is a structure here, and a trend line created because of this structure. Look at this structure here. A trend line created. So that's how you trade. So I'll say it good. Now it has broken here. I want the market to retest this level. The retest is just to show how strength, to confirm the strength of the market. You can see that the market goes in a wave like manner. So I want to break this structure. Once it breaks it, you retest it, then it push to the upside. So that's what I want. So CHF, the same thing. Say CHF, you push it to the upside. It broke this two structure, retest it, and push to the upside. I was thinking it's going to go down when it was here. I was thinking maybe if it goes down, it might retest and push to the downside. But what it did was that it pushed to the upside. So I'm still going to be looking at this JPY pairs as my alternative to USD. The USD one is a little bit consolidating for now. And when the market is consolidating, you don't want to take a trade because it might be risky and you might be losing some good cash. So look at this structure here created. You just create a bar here and say, you know what? Now it has broken it. I'm waiting for it a clear retest. Once I see candlestick fully formed to the upside, I can take a buy. I can take a long position there, and that is how it goes. And then the other pairs as well. These card pairs are quite slow. You know, this is consolidating, but I expect to push to the upside on the long run. This is a long. If I take a trade from here, before I take a trade here, I will have to wait for the market to retest this level. Now this is a very key level. I identified from the past and I drew it into the future, and you see the market playing around the area. So what I want is, it has come down, which is good. It's played around here a little bit, right? Played around here. I want to break clearly, retest clearly, give me a candlestick into the direction of this new trend, which is a bullish trend, a bullish candlestick here, and I take my buy. Just simple, just like that, and I can leave it for weeks, and you see me to profit. That's what I expect the market to do. So just simple as it is. And you need to remember that when you are trading on high time frames, you don't really bother about the news. When you are trading on lower time frames, like 1 hour, 30 minutes, you have to check the news. What I mean by the news is this. I will show you what I mean. You have to consider the news when you are trading on a lower time frame. It's very, very important. Go to investing.com or my Forex book. Go to investing.com, right? Then you click candle, economic candle, and choose and go here to the filter to choose the pairs, the currencies you want, and also filter the activities or whatever, or the level of importance. So let's take 2 stars and 3 stars together. Take it together, click it after you have chosen your currencies. Like I choose Canadian dollar, the Euro, NZD dollar. I choose Switzerland, CHF Switzerland. I choose the United States dollars. I choose the Great Britain pounds. I choose Japanese yen, and I choose the Australian dollars. Then I choose the level of importance of the volatility. So 2 stars, 3 stars, star, and then apply. Okay, when you apply, then then it gives you the corresponding pairs. Like today, now today's pairs today, you can see the GBP. This is a very good result that's come out today. Today is 20th July 2022. So what do we have CPI this is very strong news. CPI, Consumer Price Index for GBP USD, and you can see that for Great Britain pounds 3-star, there was a significant impact in the news CPI. So let's check GBP JPY. Let us see GBP JPY. There was a news that came out today around 18, around 6. It's around 8 now, around 6. So let's GBP JPY. Let us see GBP JPY. Let's see if there was any movement, significant movement. Now you see there wasn't really movement because I was expecting spike to be here, but CPI there wasn't really. But there's usually spikes. But GBP gains strength according to the news. You can see GBP 3 stars. These 3 stars are more has more impact. Now it was previously 91, right? It changed to 94, so it means the GBP gained strength. So when you go back to the news, and this is trading the news, so it means it must have pushed to the upside. So, but there was not really, I can't see any candlestick, any full candlestick pushing to the upside that shows that it's a news. I was expecting something like this, this kind of thing, this kind of long candlesticks around here, but it didn't happen. So that's fine. So, but I know that GBP is gaining strength. It has broken this structure. I retested it. I expect JPY to push to the upside to hit this level. So we'll be looking at for GBP USD, GBP JPY as well, and I'll come back to it. Now I haven't taken any trade this week. I don't think I've taken any trade this week, but I'm just doing an analysis of what I have on the chart for this week so far. This week has been a little bit well, not too much movement, and the candlesticks have been small. They've not been clear movement in certain pairs, but we'll see how it goes. This is FX Mesh. I'll be back to the chart again later. And back to the chart, guys. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to do a very fast rundown of the pairs you have just watched me talk about, and the first one I'll be going through is the NAS 100. But before I go to the NAS 100, I'm going to use the DXY, which is on the screen, as an analyzer to like a kind of an indicator. So what has happened from the 18th of this week, when this week started, we can see on a 4 hours time frame that 18 to 23, that the US dollar lost momentum. You can see it. It was pushing upwards, but you can see that it tanked down. So that had a corresponding impact on other US pairs. So that speaks a lot about how the US dollar has performed this week. So NAS 100, let's see NAS 100. Okay, now NAS 100 has as I spoke about NAS 100, I drew this bar here, and you can see that the NAS 100 is broken past this level, the structure here is coming back to retest it, and once I see a clear candlestick to the upside, a bullish candlestick to the upside, I'll be taking a buy. A short buy between here, around this area, and here. I'll put my take profit here. Yeah, what I mean is, this is what I mean. I'll take a buy position, and I'll put my take profit here, this level. My stop loss can be just under this. So this is what I'll be looking at for. So I'm looking for a buy. Okay, now the next pair is USD JPY. USD JPY I talked about. USD JPY. USD JPY. All right, now the USD JPY pushed to the upside, and you can see that the US dollars was pushing upwards. See, how do I know it's US dollar? US dollar is on the prefix. So if this thing is pushing up, it means that US dollar is gaining strength. So around this area, Look at it, 18, around 18. What happened? There was a tanking downwards and even breaking of this red line. You can see that around this area it didn't push up more again. It started falling down. It broke this trend line, and once the market breaks this trend line, it shows that the weakness of US dollar was evident, and that's what happened during the week. So we can see that the US dollar over a course of the week, this week 18th to 23rd, there's been a fall of the US dollar. Okay, that's why you can see that the index NAS 100 broke this level, because index will gain strength why the US dollar will be weak. I've always mentioned that in my previous videos, many of my videos, that one thing you look out for while trading indexes is the strength of the dollars. If the US dollar gains strength, there should be a corresponding weakness in indices, and that's what we've seen here. And because of the weakness of the US dollars this week, there have been a strength gained in the indices, and I'm expecting to retest here and push to the upside. Now let's go over to AUD/USD. AUD/USD. Remember, excuse me. Remember, I drew that structure when I was talking about AUD/USD. I drew this structure here, and what I was expecting for the market to do is to since it has broken this structure here, broken it, you see that it has retested it and it's pushing to the upside, and you can see that I'm already in profit. So that is what it is. Simple break and retest. Once you identify a structure, this structure formed as a result of this structure here and here, these two major structures here, you draw a line, then allow the market to break through it, retest it, and and push in the direction of where it's retesting. Now let's go over to AUD/JPY. Now AUD/JPY, you can see I identified the structure here. What has the market done? Market pushed to the upside, which of course was already in the previous video, and you can see that the market is negotiating itself around this point. You see, each time the market is reacting at the point, it's always important to look to the left and see what actually happened. And you see that each time the market has a way of in forex or in market in price analysis or market analysis, you always see that the price always reacts around certain lines, certain key levels, and that's what the market is doing here. And it has done that, and I didn't take this trade. Oh, I think I took this trade, and you can see I was in profit. I think I took it on a 15 minutes time frame. You can see this was a long. This must be a long time ago. I took this, not recently. So that's what you get for taking that trade. And I zoomed in and identified this pattern, drew two trend lines, and I could see higher high, lower low, higher low, lower low, higher low, and a tank to the downside. Now, what will I be expecting next week? I'll be expecting that the market comes up here to this around this area and push to the downside, because we've got a level here where I'll be looking out for the market to retest and push to the downside. Now let's go over to NZD card. NZD card is here. Now what I did was that, remember, I drew this structure, and you can see the market broke past it and pushed to the upside. I think this is not really a good signal. I didn't really take it, so let's just leave it alone. But I can just draw trend lines to identify where the market is headed. Yeah, so pretty much, yeah, so let's just leave this NZ card. It's giving a very funny look. Although it has pushed to the upside, came down here, up here, down here, and it's pushing to the upside. So just leave that for now. That's not too. Now GBP JPY, I took a trade and I came out and I won the trade. Actually, it was a really good. It was really good trade. I remember I took a trade here. Is it? Let's see. Is it? Let's see. Is it JPY? Let's see. Okay, but anyway, I think. Sorry, it's GBP AUD. I actually took a trade on. But let's look at this one first. Now let's look at this one. This one is GBP JPY. On a 4 hours time frame. Okay, this market is already forming. Market, you can see the structure here. Market came up here, came down. For me to test this, alright, it to go back, then push to the downside, and I take a sell. Now the last one we'll be looking at is GBP AUD. GBP AUD gave me a very good position to enter. Now I will explain. On a one day time frame, the reason why I'm going to 1 day is that I want to show you what the market has been through for a very long time. Now for a very long time, GBP AUD has shown some degree of consolidation. When I mean consolidation, I mean you can see that the market has been around this area. And when I mention consolidation, I mean when the market goes like this, it's not up, not down, not up, not down. This is what is called consolidating. Okay, so because it has been consolidating on a 1 day time frame, what I did was to zoom closer to see exactly where I can take opportunities. But first of all, one of the reasons why I'm taking you to a 1 day time frame is that to see what has happened in the past. And you can see from these lines I've drawn, these are key levels. This particular level interests me a lot because each time the market gets here, it's always reacting. It reacted here, it reacted here, 2, reacted here, 3 and 4, 5. So it keeps reacting, and now for the 6th time, let me remove this one. Let me remove this one a bit for now. You can see that if you see clearly, we are still on a 1 hour, on a 1 day time frame. Look at it. You see this candlestick here. I entered here actually, but I'm experiencing a drawdown here. I was thinking that the market is going to pull back. Then that's why I drew this one again. I took some I put a buy limit here, so that once this market touches this line, it triggers my buy limit and the market explodes to the upside. But you can see the pattern on a 1 day time frame. I'm going to mimic it so you can have an idea of what I mean. Now this one is all right. These ones are okay. Let's begin to monitor it from here. Up, down, up, up, down, down, a little bit down, down, and I expect it to shoot to the upside. I took trades here and I've closed some in profit. I'm still holding till next week, and I'm expecting a significant push. You can see this candlestick here on the daily time frame. You can see the candlestick has touched this. Now I'm expecting to shoot to the upside, and I'm going to be exploding in powerful and significant profits. Now let's look at we've finished the looking of all the pairs I talked about earlier on. I just want to go through a few of the indices I have, like a German 30 and US dollar, US 30. Now US 30, you can see that US 30 has touched this particular, let's go in 4 hours time frame. You can see this line is very important. Market came here, retest here again, and push to the upside. Now there's a structure here, so I want market to retest, go up, retest here, then push to the upside. That's what I expect the US 30 to be. So I'm looking at a buy for the US 30. Now for German 30, I'm also looking for something similar. Let's have a good construction of what we think is going to be like in the nearest future, like in the next week. You see here is a structure. I can identify that there's a structure here as well. So I can even draw a thin line. Through here because of this line. See it? Look at one here, look at one here again. I can draw a thin line here where those two meet, you see? Then I can draw another one again here. There's a structure here, another one here as well. These are psychological levels, but they're kind of psychological levels, close to psychological levels, but I'm drawing them based on the structures that's already been created. So now, based on these lines, we can see that. Let us go down to a 4 hours time frame. Okay, 4 hours, sorry, a daily time frame. I want to draw a line, a parallel line. Okay, then let's go to 4 hours time frame and begin to find opportunities. Now, okay, if this I'll be waiting for this market to break through here and retest this level here and push to the upside. This is my idea. This was going to be in my mind because there's been a consolidation here for quite a while, and I expect the market to break through this, break through this trend line, red trend line, retest. Let me draw the structure. And you can see here as well. You can draw to the past. You can see here again, here, and even here. Let's take it up a little bit. Here. So this area is sensitive. So I drew it further. Once this market breaks through it and retests it, then I'm looking for a buy. So this is FX Mesh Smashing It. If you like what I'm about, please like, subscribe, and share. Always remember to be patient, to trust the process, and always try to apply proper risk management in every trade you take. And by doing that, you'll be using by using the position size calculator, where you input information on that and gives you the amount of risk you'll be taking and the number of positions. For example, if you have $1,000 account, for example, and you want to risk 5% of that $1,000, and you have pip stop, well, leave the pip stop there. Let's say for Euro USD, if you now, and let's say you take GBP USD, okay, you say pip stop of let's say 10. So and you say calculate. So it means that you need to use a total lot size of 0.5. So if you are opening a lot of positions, those positions must be equal to 0.5 for 5% of this $1,000. So this helps you to calculate your risk, and you'll be risking $50 out of $1,000, which is a very, very good trade. So if you lost this trade, you will lose $50. If you win this trade, let's say on a ratio 1 to 3, so 3 times 50, that is 3 times 50, that's $450 profit on top of this is what you'll be making for only 5% risk. So that is very good. So that's what I mean by risk management. So FX Mesh, smashing it. Catch you in the next one. Peace out.